Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be playing as Marc Marquez in the terrific German circuit of the Sachsenring. We're going to start from the back of the grid on the hardest difficulty. Let's see if we get Marquez's first win with Ducati. So here we go then, from the back of the grid as mentioned. Quick check of the electronics, everything's good to go. Wait for the red lights to disappear and away we go. Little bit longer than I was expecting there to the lights to disappear actually, but looks like we're okay. We're up to 20th already, past the two Hondas, past a tertiary Honda, through on Taka Nakagami. We're up to 16th already, but this is the spot where it's going to get pretty treacherous. So I've got to really channel my inner Marc Marquez here now to squeeze through as many riders as I can to claim a top 10. Around the outside of one of the gas it's Pedro Acosta. I think one of the Ducatis has gone down there as well. Actually, he's down to 7th. It's Enea Bastianini. Oh, really closed in quickly there on Pedro Acosta, so we might actually just squeeze through on the young Spaniard to secure 8th place. Cracking start, if I do say so myself. So 15 laps here of the German GP as Jorge Martin looking to get pushed off the circuit. It's Alex Marquez has gone down somewhere in the early stage of this lap. So not a bad start, a 16 improvement, and now we're on the cusp, the precipice of attacking Enea Bastianini. Now I must confess, of course, the AI is a lot different to it was in MotoGP 23. In MotoGP 23, it was damn near impossible to beat them 120%. Here we are, from 22nd all the way up to 8th. It's been brilliant. Or is it 24th? Yeah, 24 up to 8th, I think it is. Mine's gone in the early stages of this Grand Prix, but we're sizing up Enea Bastianini, and we're now through on the Italian. Can we squeeze through on Bezzecchi as well? We can. It's a 2-for-1 going into turn 1 with Marc Marquez, and we're now up to 6th place. Brilliant start, and looking quite promising for the first Ducati win in Marc Marquez's career. So then, questions got to be asked then. The German GP this weekend, the Sachsenring, the king of the ring, was Marc Marquez. Currently, Jorge Martin is the last winner here in the Sachsenring. Will he continue his streak, or will Marc Marquez bounce back to the top step of the podium here in the Sachsenring? I will tell you gladly that this is Marquez's domain. Surely the first Ducati win beckons the number 93. If he can't do it here, then I would probably have to question whether he can win on the Ducati at all. He's got to be able to win here in the Sachsenring. I do feel there's going to be a certain seriousness, intensiveness to Marc Marquez this weekend. Cast your minds back to last season with the Honda. He almost killed himself. He was so desperate to have a good result on the Honda that he crashed almost every single session. I think he did crash every single session. Of course, had to then retire and what's the term I'm looking for? Withdraw from the actual Grand Prix itself. So honestly, I'm really curious to see what Marquez does this weekend as we try and fight through there on Aleix Espargaro, able to get through on the man who's just been named Repsol Honda's test rider. But yeah, I'm really not sure what it is about Marquez this weekend. I've got this feeling that he's either going to come out and win, or he's going to crash. Particularly your usual Marc Marquez weekend, if you will. Either podium or bust in the past. Of course, Marquez hit with the penalty in Assen for the low tyre pressure, which I think is such a crap rule to have, but it is what it is. Of course, he's not the first rider to be done with that, and he won't be the last. But it's such a shame to see him battling so much in Assen, trying to give way to ensure that the tyre pressure was right, and then all of a sudden still wasn't good enough towards the end of the Grand Prix, and therefore was given a 16-second penalty. Definitely needs looking into that, because it's such a terrible rule that it just impacts the performance of the racing and makes it so much worse, because if it wasn't a case of Marquez then holding back to try and ensure that the tyre pressure had not gone, then maybe we could have seen a different race. Maybe he wouldn't let Fabio Di Giannantonio get past, and maybe then he wouldn't try and fight back against Digia when Digia then gave him the space. I don't know. But it's something that definitely needs to be looked at into the future. As in fact, we size our way through now on Fabio Di Giannantonio, scything our way through like the Grim Reaper, ladies and gentlemen. We're up to 4th place. This is going rather well. Martin, last year's Sachsenring winner, ahead of us on circuit. Pecco Bagnaia, the first man to go back-to-back 100% points in 2 Grand Prix with the sprint included. That's right, Pecco. I am talking about you, as he had a cheeky look behind him. Yeah, the only man in MotoGP to win a sprint and a Grand Prix in 2 consecutive weekends. Feels bizarre that's only the first person to do it. I feel like Martin's done that and I feel like Pecco's done it before, but yeah, apparently not. New rules, new tests, of course. So yeah, things change, and Pecco is the first man to do it. And of course, Maverick Vinales, the winner in Kota in the Grand Prix that everyone would have picked Marc Marquez to win at. Maverick Vinales stood on the top step. So I do really wonder what's going to happen this weekend. I would like to see Jorge Martin bounce back, because Pecco is getting quite a lot of momentum at the moment. He's going to have to be careful. If he gets too much momentum, Pecco is probably going to just disappear with this championship. So he's got to be very careful. In fact, Maverick, fastest man on track, a 1:18.638. That was a couple of thousandths of a second quicker than what we were. Oh, in fact, rather, it was actually 0.2 of a second quicker. No, 50,000 of a second, apologies. We did improve on that last lap, but he found 50,000th more of a second than we did. And I've got to say, I thought I'd be up to the rear of Martin by now, but he's just holding me up his own. He's just keeping me back. Not able to catch up to the number 89. Of course, latest news in MotoGP. This weekend, Alex Rins will be substituted with Remy Gardner. Good to see the Aussie come back to MotoGP. One of the most cruelest decisions I think we've seen in MotoGP, to be honest with you. Remy Gardner, Moto2 World Champion. Definitely deserved to stay within MotoGP and to develop and to grow. Immediately booted away by the KTM Tech 3 team. So I must confess, I don't like stuff like that. Already the conversation now of Augusto Fernandez getting binned off as well. I hate that. 1 season, 2 seasons, that's it, you're done, get out of here, we'll find someone else. I just don't think you can develop a package and a team that way. But racing is quite cruel, and racing is quite strict, so on to the power. We have lost a couple of tenths there to both Martin and Bagnaia. Maverick still holding his own at the front. I honestly thought I'd catch up to them by now, but then putting those extra pace lap times in the hardest difficulty of the game is proving to be quite difficult. Oh, really tight to apex there for turn 2. That is going to cost me time. It has cost me time. It's cost me 0.3. That is time that I cannot afford to lose. I would say that Sachsenring is not one of my strongest circuits. I do very much enjoy the track, but I'm just not all that competitive at it. But it took me to a 3-lap race in MotoGP 23 to beat the 120% AI, and that was with Pecco Bagnaia, and that was just barely by the skin of my teeth. Here, I am pushing just to try and get on tabs with Martin. He's definitely got something else as Jorge. So we now lunge over to the right-hand side. This is the waterfall section. Must be careful not to abuse the track limits there going into the left-hand side. As Alex Marquez, track limit warning. I thought he'd crashed. I'm sure it came up earlier on. Taka Nakagami out of this Grand Prix as well. Talks of him losing his seat to Ayagora next year. I actually quite like Taka Nakagami, so that will be a shame. But of course, with the Honda, nobody can prove their worth. Oh, it's Alex Marquez. Long lap penalty now for the number 73. Not a way to celebrate your 2 years contract with Grassini then, is it? Talks of possibly Jack Miller joining Alex Marquez in that team next season. That should be a pretty good Grassini team. Miller and Marquez. And of course, conversations surrounding now as Frankie Morbidelli possibly moves over to the VR46. Oh, I almost lost the front then. He might go over to the VR46 Pertamina Enduro team to be potentially joined by Fermin Aldeguer and Factory Ducatis. That's going to be very interesting for next season. Talks of Grassini will not be getting it, and of course Pramac now going to Yamaha. Conversations certainly hotting up for some weird and wonderful things in MotoGP next season. Of course, the last season, or the last 2 seasons before we move over to the new regulations. So are you going to try and win now, or are you going to try and develop for the future? I guess that's what Yamaha and Honda are going to be doing. So now break into the Saxon curve. Martin has a good look behind him. Still quite can't get on tabs with the number 89. The man who finished runner-up in the championship last season, of course. Onto the power out of the final corner of the Queckenberg. I will confess, I did a little bit of a practice run before I started this video, and I crashed into the Queckenberg, but I felt really quick until that point. And I feel like a bit of my confidence has gone for the final corner. I need to try and regain that confidence so I can continue to catch up to Martin. Lap times have been okay so far, but it's certainly not the 107.7 that Augusto Fernandez once set in a MotoGP 23 video. Still don't know how that happened. He crashed in the middle of the circuit, appeared on the other side in front of Jack Hammer, the MotoGP eSports champion, and then went on to win the Grand Prix after setting a 107.7. Unbelievable lap time. Never seen anything like it around the circuits of the Sachsenring. Look at Pecco, he was off the circuit then. No penalty given, no warning to the Italian. Picking up power now, picking up speed going into turn 9. The delta's still in our favour, but it's just not enough to catch up to Martin. Of course, I've had a bit of disappointment with Alex Rins and Silverstone a few days ago. Had the podium, or at least almost had it before I had a long lap penalty. Don't really want to let this one go without a fight. I think Marquez would be happy to return to the podium here in the Sachsenring at the very least. Of course, he wants that win. A lot of the fans do as well. We might be setting the fastest lap here. We do. A 1:18.536. This is crucial. This is the critical point of the Grand Prix for us to develop some momentum. We've gone deep for turn 1 though. How much time did I lose? Well, I must confess, these guys are pushing me to the limit here. I thought I'd have them caught up by now. Seems to be happening quite a bit now, this in MotoGP 24. Once the AI gets into that bit of a rhythm, it's really difficult to catch them up, especially on the 120% difficulty. Very much like what we've seen in my Moto 2 career mode in Le Mans, where I was pushing really hard to catch up to the podium finishers. And then again in Catalonia, where it was a similar story after getting punted, or at least colliding with Alonso Lopez. I tried to catch them back up again. Very similar situation that we're in right now. Augusto Fernandez, track limit warning for him. MotoGP stewards have had their say. As we charge down the waterfall once more, I am begging for Pecco Bagnaia to have an attack on Maverick Vinales. I need Martin to make a small mistake, just something, so I can get a bit of slipstream to catch up to them. That 0.6 of a second gap is difficult because Martin is getting a tow from Bagnaia and I'm not getting a tow. And if I'm Marc Marquez, I need to be getting a tow in any qualifying practice or racing session. So this is it. Oh, Martin, he made a small mistake. He looks to be closing in on Bagnaia ever so slightly. What's happened between Bagnaia and Vinales? The gap was much tighter than it is now. I'm just pushing so hard to catch up to this trio. Maverick Vinales having the race of his life right now, defending against the double MotoGP world champion, the runner-up world champion, and then of course the 8 times MotoGP world champion. Maverick doing a brilliant effort. In fact, all 4 of us are MotoGP world champions. Well, champions in a MotoGP class. Maverick for Moto 3 back in 2013. Pecco Bagnaia, Moto 2 and double MotoGP. And Jorge Martin, 2018's Moto 3 world champion. Actually beat out Marco Bezzecchi's future teammate. Look at Bagnaia. He's off the circuit. He was miles wide then, but he still continues the momentum to catch up to Bagnaia. Oh, a small mistake there for myself. Not able to get that GP23 Ducati turned in, and that's deep now for the final corner. Oh, it's getting away from me. Martin is pulling away. 1 second is the gap. Has Alex Marquez not taken that long lap penalty, or has the LED board glitched? It's still there on the screen. Maybe he's just not bothering. He's going to acquire a double long lap penalty by the end of this one. They're now desperate to catch up to Martin. I think I might have to settle for 4th, you know. I don't really want to. We're playing as Marc Marquez. You can't just give up. You can't just say, that'll do. Never seen him do that before. Here's the 8 times world champion. Keep pushing. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think, guys. Do you reckon Marc Marquez is going to win this weekend? Is he going to stand on the top step of the podium for the first time in 2 years? For the first time in blue? For the first time with Ducati? Is it going to happen? Let me know in the comments section down below. But all I can say is it's going to be either win or crash, I think. It's going to be bust or brilliance for Marquez. We'll see what happens, but I'm probably going to miss the Grand Prix, so if I don't respond to your comments on Sunday, then I will get back to them on Monday night. Oh, as Rins and Quartararo have collided together, and Rins is out. Oh, another mistake going into the Queckenberg. Yeah, that's it. That's got to be curtains now. I don't think I can catch up to them now. I've made another mistake in 2 laps. I'm pushing on the limit, and yet every single lap there, almost apart from lap 10, have been within the 119s, have been sub 119. You can't fault the effort in this one, you really can't. But I am trying so much. It's not going to happen. But I really, yeah, basically, guys, I'm going to be in Germany, as a matter of fact, with BMW Motorrad Days in Garmisch. So I'll be missing the Grand Prix on Sunday, but you better believe I'll be off social media so I don't have anything spoiled. I hate to have any spoilers. And I'll be watching... Oh, Martin just touched the apex. I've been waiting for him to do that all race, and finally does it when I've already got a second behind. Well, I'm going to absolutely push now. If I can get a sniff of the toe from that Ducati, you better believe I'm going to go for it. Bagnaia is sizing up Maverick now as well. Come on. They're so fast out of the waterfall section. I don't seem to hit it right going into that right-hander. That's a bit deep, that, for the Saxon curve. I'm beginning to push really hard now onto the power. I just don't think I can catch him. Again, late on the brakes going into the Queckenberg. Tight to the apex, just 3 more laps to go. Onto the power. We just can't keep the front end of the Ducati down. I don't think any bike can keep the front end down going into the long straight. This is the closest we've been in a while, though. Martin is still within striking distance, but I am pushing to the absolute maximum. Oh, look at that timing. Oh, no. I've binned it, and now I'm in a perilous situation to get back on the circuit. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I was pushing. I was on the absolute limit then. 11th place is where we're going to end up. Oh, can you believe it? I was on the absolute limit. Well, I've not crashed in a while, to be honest. Maybe the last time I crashed was in the first-person perspective video a few days ago. But for third person and doing a normal race, that's the first time in a while. What a silly mistake. I got suckered in by trying to catch up to Martin. Knowing my luck now that Martin will probably end up getting a long lap penalty or he'll crash himself. Wow, we were so far ahead as well. 7 seconds is what I lost there. In the worst possible spot to crash, to be honest. There was no way I could rejoin the circuit safely with all these riders. Look how many riders there are together. From 10th to 4th, you've got riders battling it out for that one position. It looks like a Oh, I've got a long lap penalty now. Oh no. I just abused the track limits then as I got onto the ride height device too early. Oh, it's gone heck to a handbasket now, ladies and gentlemen. On the penultimate lap, we take our long lap penalty, but we do secure 11th place for now. That is not how I anticipated this video to go. I thought Marquez would be standing on the top step of the podium and celebrating with the aces. Apparently not. Not at all. As we are actually getting caught up here by Augusto Fernandez. So we've got a lap and a half to survive. As the bike damage, I didn't see the damage come up on the screen, but usually after you've had a crash, the bike does feel a bit sluggish, and it can be quite difficult then to get back onto the speed that you were doing. But to be honest, I didn't see any damage, so might be okay. I need to see on the left-hand side. Doesn't look like we've got any damage, so yeah, maybe we're just able to pick it up and go again. But that potential battle for 4th place is what I'm going to miss out on now. It looked really exciting. Di Giannantonio was leading the way. Aleix possibly in 5th. Marco Bezzecchi, then I think a couple of other riders, Jack Miller, Brad Binder, and Pedro Acosta are all in there as well. But for us for now, across the line, it's another disappointing lap time for us. The last couple of laps there have just been diabolical. Not good for Marquez's championship either, of course. He is falling behind a bit since Pecco Bagnaia and Martin have been that much better than Marquez at the minute. Of course, with the GP24, that additional bit of power, it does make it obviously a little bit more challenging for Marquez. What he did say himself, there's not much difference between the two GPs. Maybe he's just being humble, I'm not entirely sure. Ooh, really tight to the apex again. How many times is Alex Marquez going to come up with a track limit warning in this video? I'm sure he must have already had a long lap penalty and about 4 track limit warnings already. The next time that comes up, it's going to be followed with a long lap penalty. Jack Miller track limit warnings. He's just ahead of us on circuit, just ahead of Morbidelli. And this is going to be it. So, quick look on the left-hand side of your screen. It looks like Maverick Vinales is just barely going to hold on to the victory here into the Queckenberg. Maverick is under pressure. We'll keep an eye on the left-hand side of your screen to see if it changes, but looks like Maverick got it. Maverick wins, Bagnaia second, and Martin takes third place. There's a lot of riders in between us to 10th to 4th, and here's us as Marquez down in a disappointing 11th place. Yeah, I feel that one too, Mark. That's disappointing. So there you are then, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below. And if you want to see another video just like this, let me know in the comment section. Make a request and I'll be sure to add it in a future video. Guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you tomorrow for more videos. Ciao for now. Oh, hi. Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.